It started with blood on the street. A summer morning in Sarajevo, crowds cheering, flags waving, the royal couple smiling from their open-top car, and then 2 gunshots. Screams, silence, chaos. Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, slumped over his wife, blood staining his white uniform. She was already dying. His last words were whispered through shaking lips. "Sophie, don't die. Stay alive for our children." But she was gone. They both were. In that moment, everything shifted. Not just for a family, not just for a city, but for the entire world. This wasn't just a tragic assassination. It was the spark that lit the most brutal war humanity had ever seen. A war that would claim over 17 million lives. But how could 2 bullets bring the world to its knees? To answer that, we have to go back, before the gunfire, before the crowd, before Sarajevo. Back to a world where the air was thick with tension, and everyone was quietly waiting for something, anything, to break. Hundreds was like a giant pile of dry wood. Powerful nations were standing too close, holding matches. All it needed was one flick of flame. That flick came from a 19-year-old boy named Gavrilo Princip. He wasn't a monster. He was angry, poor, raised in a land torn by foreign rule. Like many others in the Balkans, he dreamed of freedom, of something bigger than himself. So when he saw the Archduke's car make a wrong turn and stop right in front of him, he didn't hesitate. He fired twice. But the bigger explosion hadn't happened yet. Back in Vienna, Austria-Hungary was furious. They blamed Serbia, where the young assassin had connections to a secret group that wanted independence for Slavic people. Austria-Hungary gave Serbia a list of impossible demands. Serbia agreed to almost all of them, but not everything. That wasn't good enough. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. But here's where it spirals. Serbia had a big friend, Russia. Russia had its own problems, but it couldn't just stand by, so it prepared for war. Austria-Hungary had Germany in its corner, and Germany didn't wait. It declared war on Russia, then on France, because France was Russia's ally. And to attack France quickly, Germany invaded Belgium. But Belgium was under British protection. Now Britain was in too. In just a few days, almost all of Europe had been pulled into war like dominoes, falling one after another. Why were these countries so quick to fight? Because they were already prepared for it, not prepared like they wanted peace, prepared like they had been expecting war. Nations had built up massive armies and terrifying weapons, like a neighbor stacking bricks for a wall but actually building a fort. They were also tied up in complicated friendships, what politicians called alliances. It's like if your friend gets into a fight and you promise to help no matter what, even if you don't know what the fight is about. One country moved, the others followed. But the deepest reason? Pride. Each nation believed they were the strongest, the smartest, the most honorable. Nobody wanted to back down. To do that would be weakness, and weakness was dangerous. So they marched forward. The people cheered when soldiers went off to war. They threw flowers. They thought the war would be quick, easy, glorious. Home by Christmas. But what came next was anything but glorious. Trenches, poison gas, mud and death and silence. And yet this wasn't the end. This was just the beginning. Because even when the war officially ended, it didn't. And the man who would rise from the ashes of that war, He was already watching, already waiting. So what happened after the war? Why do historians say it never really ended? That part of the story changes everything.